Challenges though the handlebar heroes out of turn number 4. 2 weeks ago on Checkered Flag, we screened exclusive pictures from the opening round of the Clean Team Sidecar Super Prix. On that occasion, Western Australia's Glenn O'Brien and Jeff Giddis created history by becoming the first team to win a round of this prestigious new series. Tonight, we welcome you to the famous Brisbane exhibition ground for round 2. Many of Australia's best riders and their courageous passengers lock handlebars at one of the world's most historic speedway venues. Welcome to another hour of power featuring the gladiators of motorsport, right here on C7 Sport. Thanks for being with us on a very ordinary night in Brisbane as far as weather is concerned. The Weather Bureau has been forecasting heavy rain all day, and sadly it would seem inevitable. Let's take a look at the progressive points as we approach tonight's second round of the championship. And things are fairly close, as you can imagine. O'Brien and Giddis, the West Australian combination, on 20 are the tournament leaders. Then Lind and Males, the Tasmanians, on 18. 2 points further back to Cleve and Power, followed by Martin and Thistleton, the Queenslanders. Now, a quick look at the format for tonight, because it's quite different to Bacchus Marsh a fortnight ago. 20 qualifying heats in total, 16 riders, each of whom there are 4 riders in each heat, scoring qualifying points based on 3, 2, 1, 0 for first, second, third and fourth, and of course a D final, C final, and the winner of the B final takes the last transfer spot in the grand final. There's some of the action in the pits. The bikes have been on the track this afternoon practicing, so some last minute adjustments to these sidecars before we get set for the action. We're actually going to pick up the highlights for you in heat number 3. And I'm joined in commentary for this program by one of the all-time great sidecar riders, Gary Treloar. There's a name that many people that will remember that used to frequent the Sydney Showground. What a venue this, Gary.
Thanks very much, David, for that big introduction. Yes, it is. I rode there quite a few times, and it's very similar to the Sydney Showground. Not quite as big, very narrow and very fast. Yes,
a little on the risque side too, I guess you'd have to say. Here we go now with heat number 3. Oh, plenty of bumping early in the event too. That's South Australia's Justin Playstead, who was the best to begin. Chris Pym from Sydney in the blue helmet colour with Dean Edwards on the side of the bike. He moves up on the inside, so already Pym is firing a warning shot in this meeting, and he certainly takes it right up to our man that was leading, Playstead. So a change of lead at the end of the first racing lap. This is heat 3, a 4-lap journey. Some dramas further back in the pack. Cole Windsor from Victoria is having a nightmare ride, and at the moment is holding up Dion Lind as we now look at Justin Playstead in second spot. And Gary, that was a great pass by Chris Pym up the inside to take the lead.
He did that well, didn't he? He really set himself up there, and he knew exactly what he was going to do, and just carried it right through. Although young Justin Playstead, he's a kid that's going to go a long way. He's riding really good.
Yes, he's been hampered a touch by mechanical problems with that bike, but hopefully tonight we'll see the best of Playstead. Meantime, Chris Pym, your race leader, has 1 lap of the world-famous Brisbane exhibition ground to run. That's Playstead further back in second. And on the side of his bike tonight is Rusty Harrison, who's a solo rider ordinarily. Off turn 4, Chris Pym's going to get the checkered flag, and 3 valuable qualifying points in the opening race on our telecast tonight. In second spot, it was Playstead and Harrison, and third of the checkered flag, Lind and Males. There's plenty of bumping on the first corner of that event. As you look at the victors, Pym and obviously Edwards, they hail from Kellyville in the northwest of Sydney. And here's the action, and Gary, it was no place for the faint-hearted.
Gee, that was a terrific start from Playstead. He came from 4. It's hard to get out of 4 there, you know, because the starting line's just about on the corner, so you're turning as you come into it. But he made a real good start there, but he got out a bit wide and left a little bit of a hole there for Chris Pym to put his nose in, and that was just enough.
You can't be doing that, can you? Leaving a gap on the inside, particularly around this track, because it is tough enough to pass. If the opportunity presents itself on the inside, you're certainly going to take it. Now we advance to the next heat on today's program. It's heat 4, and Darren Caife from Newcastle in New South Wales locking handlebars there with Stuart Firth on the yellow bike. He's a Brisbane wildcard rider taking part in this event tonight, and they're still at it. It's bang bang. Firth has taken the lead. Caife has capitulated. I'm not sure he got scared, but something went wrong there. The Brisbaneite up the main straight, a clear-cut leader in heat number 4. The gap between first and second, Gary, is already about 12 metres. I think Caife's got some bike problems, a bit of smoke there too.
Coming out there. I don't know what happened to the other two. They're
out of calculations, yeah. Wason and Walsh from South Australia, and the other Brisbane riders, Taylor and Weir, were involved in this race. They've come together and will take no further part in the event. So this is going to be an effortless ride to victory for the team on screen. Firth and Mark Strachan on the side of the bike. Good thing about this tournament, the opportunity for wildcards to take part in the event. You have your contracted riders and then the best of the local talent that comes in periodically at each race meeting. This is going to be the biggest win of Firth's career, I'd imagine. He is just pulling away. Cave has definitely got some problems with that bike. It's showing plenty of smoke out the rear end, and that is a big victory to Firth. We'll take a look again on replay at that first corner where all hell broke loose.
Yeah, there was big trouble there at the start. The guys up the top there, oh yes, Kate lost it there, then his sidecar wheel came up in the air, he was right off balance there. Probably when the passenger was just getting over and he just got touched at the same time, and that caused him to lift. People
can't underestimate the importance of the passenger, can they, in sidecar racing?
Oh no, they make a big difference. They cop a lot of flack, the sidecar passengers, but you just can't do it properly without them.
Next heat on the program for you. Heat number 5 of 20 qualifying heats. Darren Caife returns for battle. He's riding in the yellow helmet colour. Now Gary Moon, the former national champion from Townsville's in the red helmet colour. Now moving up on the inside, a very interesting combination in sidecar racing. Bill and Louise Sewell out of Brisbane. Would you do that to your wife, Gary? That's his wife on the side of the bike. They run second.
No, that's no, I don't think my wife would have anything to do with it, but good on her anyway. She looks like she's doing the job proper anyway.
Yeah, she's a good jockey, doing a terrific job. Different kind of horsepower, of course. Billy Sewell has barged his way through to take the lead in heat number 5, so now he looks at 3 maximum qualifying points in this heat. So Bill and Louise Sewell, your race leaders. Darren Caife and his passenger obviously run second on the racetrack at the moment. And this is a very, very big lead enjoyed by the man at the sharp end of the pack, Sewell. He got away to an indifferent start and was able to forge his way through the traffic. Caife and James Dean run in second place, and Gary Moon and Chris Hughes in third. That's Cole Windsor at the back, and his passenger Gordon Young. They hail from Victoria. That's a borrowed bike, the bike owned by Bob Levy, in fact, former national champion. Sewell across the line, a comfortable victor there in heat number 5. Second to the checkered flag, Caife and Dean. Third, Moon and Hughes. Windsor and Young right at the back. They are the husband and wife combination. Another look at it.
Yeah, they come from a very famous sidecarring family, the Sewells. They go back for quite a few years, and I've seen Bill ride, Junior ride quite a few times, and he's a real strong goer. He don't take any nonsense.
Obviously engineers the bike well. It's got plenty of horsepower. If I can respectfully say, he's not the smallest rider in the field in terms of his physique, but it doesn't seem to be impeding his progress at all. Next heat, hope you're enjoying the highlights of round 2 of the Clean Team Radiator Coolant Sidecar Super Prix. If you may have just joined us, the venue tonight, the world famous Brisbane Exhibition Ground, as we get away now with heat number 7 on the program. Andrew Cleve and Dave Power in the red helmet colour on the inside. Glenn O'Brien and Jeff Giddis out of Perth in the blue helmet colour, the winners of the opening round of this tournament. Dion Lind and Males from Tasmania also involved here, as is Taylor and Weir out of Brisbane. There's a race for you though between first and second, and Andrew Cleve under pressure now from the flying Glenn O'Brien. That's Lind right at the back in the white helmet colour. He's off the pace. And Stephen Taylor from Brisbane in the yellow helmet colour runs third. Out of shot at the moment, O'Brien and Cleve are in your shot. This is the battle for first and second. Cleve, the consummate professional, he's been one of the greats of sidecar racing over the last decade or so. 2 times national champion. Gary, if he hasn't won it 3 or 4 times, it's not worth winning.
No, this was always going to be a hard heat too, David. You've got 3 of the past winners from the previous meeting in this. And
there's no doubt about it, you're right. The top 3 place getters involved in Bacchus Marsh, Cleve and O'Brien, are almost inseparable as they head down the back straight the final time. Here's O'Brien now looking for an outside slingshot. Can he pull it off? No, he can't. Cleve too good. The checkered flag unfolds, and the Victorian Cleve and Power coming up with the 3 points there. O'Brien and Giddis across the line in second, and Lyndon Males, the Tasmanian combination, picking up 1 point in third. So Andrew Cleve doing a nice job to come up with the victory there. He's going to prove a very tough man to beat in this series. There's no doubt about it. Consistency is his trademark. And O'Brien, hasn't he been quick, Gary, in the opening couple of meetings with this series?
Oh, spectacular rider, Glenn. He's very fast. He's terrific to watch. And they've both got very experienced passengers, both Cleve and O'Brien. And in this event. They've been around for a long, long time, these boys, and they know exactly how to help their riders just at the right time.
Yeah, Power on the side of Cleve's bike, Giddis on the side of O'Brien's bike. Giddis has won a couple of national championships with Dennis Nash, the great Dennis Nash in the past.
The legend Dennis Nash.
Exactly.
Let's get it right.
You'd have to say the best, wouldn't you, in terms of national championships anyway?
Yes,
Heat number 8 now, the Clean Team Sidecar Super Prix. Here's your boy, Darren Treloar, and he bounces out in the red helmet colour. That is Firth out of Brisbane, wearing the yellow. He's in second spot at the moment. And I guess this is a first, certainly in Speedway television anyway. Father co-commentator Gary Treloar, one of the greats of racing, and his son Darren Treloar, former 2 times national champion and current and 6 times New South Wales title holder, is the leader. Are you lost for words or what?
yes, a bit hard watching your own going around there, but I did race against him actually when I was just finishing and he was just starting. That was even harder.
What year did you retire from racing? I can't remember.
90.
1990. You had a long career and a very distinguished one. Do you miss it?
At times, yes, but I'm getting older and softer and nowadays, and it's not so bad these days.
Treloar, you can see the gap. It is huge across the line with the yellow flag on display. Firth running second on the racetrack, and Strachan, his passenger. That is Playstead and Harrison in third. So the 3 points are certainly going to go to Darren Treloar. Alan Griffith on the side of the bike, and he's very much a part of that machine. Perfectly balanced. He anticipates the racing lane brilliantly. They get the 3 points, so Treloar continues his good form after making the grand final at the Western Auto Raceway in Bacchus Marsh at the opening round a fortnight ago. Sadly, the weather has kept most people away from this event tonight. Only a couple of thousand people in this world-class stadium, which is a tragedy. Would have been a much bigger crowd otherwise. Brisbane normally turns out in force to see high-caliber motorcycle racing, be it sidecars or solos. So there's Darren Treloar and Alan Griffith, your victors in heat number 8 in this second round of the Clean Team Radiator Cool Sidecar Super Prix. We've now got a break coming up on the program. Stay with us on C7, wherever you might be watching. Stuart Firth and Mark Strachan, his passenger, also quickly away, wearing yellow. They're up running second. Grant Bond and Thomas Cruz, you'll catch a shot of those shortly. Well, them shortly. They're wearing the blue helmet colour. They are third at the moment. Of course, they hail from Newcastle. And here's a go on the outside with, of course, Lind and Males, the Tasmanians, coming right around the outside of them in the white helmet colour. And Gary, once again, no shortage of action here at the exhibition ground.
I feel a bit sorry for Gary Mooney. Blew an engine real bad in the first meeting of the series, and I think he's on borrowed machinery tonight. He's a top rider, a former national champion. He's doing it hard.
No doubt about that. The person that's not doing it hard is Stuart Firth out in front. Look at him. And his passenger Strachan, they're under siege now from Dion Lind and Scott Males. Lind was absolutely spectacular at Bacchus Marsh a couple of weeks ago. Across the line, it was the Queenslander Firth and Strachan getting the 3 points and the money. Lind and Males home in second. Grant Bond and Tom Cruise back in third. And you've got to stay at this early stage of the tournament that Bond and Cruise, Gary, are not really living up to expectation. I'm sure they will eventually. They're too good to keep languishing.
They are too good. I'm a bit surprised myself because I think the big thing about Grant is his consistency. No matter what track you put him at or what company you put him at, he's always in there, and he just hasn't been doing it quite so far, but I'm sure he'll come good.
Another look at some excellent action from the exhibition ground. Lind on the left-hand side of your picture, battling away with Firth, the checkered flag inside. Gee, it was close, wasn't it? About half a metre as they went across the line.
Yeah, I like Dion the way he rides. He don't give an inch, does he? He was really trying hard there. You get the front wheel through, the rest has got to come because it's all bolted together.
Yeah, well said. Now it's heat 10. Now 3 laps the journey for the remaining heats on the program. We started out with 4, but there was a problem with the racetrack which necessitated the need to bring the race durations back a lap in the interest of rider safety. Because it was going to rain all day, hasn't yet. The track curators haven't put that much water in the circuit. They were scared of showers. It's what we call slick in the business. Not a lot of dirt on the track as such. I know that sounds silly because clearly on the picture it looks like it's dirt, and it is. What I mean, it's not a very cushiony surface. It's very skatey and hard, and the riders were going through tyres like you wouldn't believe. So they're now back to 3 laps. And once again, Billy and Louise Sewell, the husband and wife combination, are your race leaders. This is a good race. Stephen Taylor, the other rider from Brisbane's on the outside in the yellow helmet colour. And Vic Martin from Queensland, the 3 Queenslanders. No love lost here. Martin runs 3rd on the inside now in the red helmet colour. And he pushes Taylor up track, effectively stitching up 2nd on the racetrack. But I'll tell you what, Billy and Louise Sewell are doing it magnificently, Gary Treloar, as they come across the line to take the win.
Terrific win. You know, Victor's a very hard person to beat. He's got good machinery. He rides terrific. And that was a terrific job from the Sewells, the way they did that. And the local rider, I don't know him at all, but geez, he was hanging in there too.
Yeah, Stephen Taylor did an excellent job. They finished 3rd, Martin and Thistleton 2nd. And as you know, Sewell and Sewell the winners. Take us through the replay.
Oh, look at that. Geez, look where that...
That's Taylor on the outside.
Oh, isn't he hanging in there?
Martin on the inside. Not a lot of racing room. You could throw a tally-ho paper over the 3 of them, and that tightly packed on the circuit. But that is what sidecar racing's all about. Good, close, hard, uncompromising stuff.
Well, these 3 boys are all local, so they know this track back to front. There isn't much room here, but they know where they can go and where they can't go. He's just run out of front room there, but he's packed in again.
Advancing now to the next heat, number 11 on the program, Cleve and Power, lining up here on gate 1 in the red helmet colour. They won their last heat start. Ronnie Parker and Gavin Cunningham in blue beside them. Oh, gee, a fair bit of touching there. Windsor and Young running 3rd in the white helmet colour. And right at the back is Rick Wason and Glenn Welsh out of South Australia. Well, once again, a fair bit of bumperooning happening there, Gary, on the first corner.
Yeah, Andrew's been around for a long time now. He was a really hard and tough rider when he first started, but I've watched him for a long, long time. He's just getting smarter and smarter as he gets older.
He's 37 years of age, and they've got a very good team set up. Cleve and his passenger Dave Power in partnerships with another gentleman.
Robert Griffiths.
Yep, in owning a couple of bikes. They're thoroughbred machines. This is an eliminator frame. Majority of the riders are using Yamaha engines these days, but of course there are Suzukis around.
Yeah, well, Andrew's got both. He's got a Yamaha and a Suzuki. He changes whichever he thinks suits the track the best, and it seems to be working really good for him too, because no matter where he goes, he's always in there.
Exactly. Cleve and Power take the win and the 3 points. Parker and Cunningham home in 2nd, their best result of the night thus far. And Cole Windsor and Gordon Young finishing in 3rd spot there.
Here we are.
Now it's heat 12. You're watching highlights of the Clean Team Sidecar Super Prix, the Brisbane Exhibition Ground. Oh, look at Cape on the outside, more reminiscent of a motocross rider. Got plenty of air under the front wheel. Not so Darren Treloar. He got a gun start with Alan Griffith on the side of the machine. That's Glenn O'Brien. And his passenger, Jeff Giddis, running 2nd. You'd imagine, Gary, this race will go down to the wire.
I'd say so. Glenn will really hound him all the way. If Darren makes one mistake, Glenn will be through.
Have a listen to these bikes scream. Through turns 1 and 2, the way the sidecars run, this should be a ripper. Treloar and Griffith are your leaders on the right-hand side of your screen. Glenn O'Brien and Jeff Giddis all the way from Perth, WA, sponsored by Project Demolition and Classic Hire. The TRE Engineering entry of Darren Treloar out in front. They're separated by just a couple of metres. This is going to go right down to the wire without a doubt. A couple of corners left to negotiate. Treloar sits about mid-track. Look at O'Brien driving away on the inside. But Treloar's going to come up with another victory here tonight, and 3 points for him. And I'll bet you're proud of the boy too.
That's a nice win, yeah. It's always good to win those ones in tough company like that, and I'd imagine he'd be very happy with that.
O'Brien and Giddis 2nd, 2 points. Chris Pym and Dean Edwards coming home in 3rd and picking up the 1 point. Round 2 of 6 in the Clean Team Sidecar Super Prix. Now heat 13, another 3-lapper. Get them underway. Wason on the outside in the yellow helmet colour. That's Gary Moon and Chris Hughes on the inside in red. O'Brien returning for battle out of Western Australia. That's him and Jeff Giddis, his passenger, running 2nd in the blue helmet colour. And one gets a feeling that Gary Moon is going to know he's in a motor race here, because he's got one of the best in the country on his tail.
They've graded the track now, and as you can see, there's a lot more dirt down on the lower line here too, and they'll really have to work hard to get it around there now.
Gary
Although
Moon.
he's handling it very well at the moment, Glenn's really struggling to keep up with it. Oh, that's why.
That's why, all right. He's got an onboard barbecue, and an unexpected one at that. I'll tell you what, Gary Moon's bike is not running perfectly either. I can hear it popping and cracking as it goes by our broadcast point, which is located right there between turns 1 and 2. Can O'Brien pick up the 2 points? I doubt it. Here comes Playstead, desperate to try and move up one more spot. Moon has already taken the checkered flag. Yes, Playstead on the outside just got there, tipping O'Brien out of second place. That's a tragedy for the Perth rider.
Oh, he's done big damage there too. He's broken the cases or done something there. There's oil running everywhere. And he's kept on going to try and get the points too, so he's probably done more damage when he's kept on going.
Recapping them, Moon and Hughes the victors. Playstead and Harrison second, O'Brien Gidders third. Heat 15 is next on the program as you see the highlights of round 2 of the Clean Team Sidecar Super Prix from the Brisbane Exhibition Ground. That's Chris Pym in the white helmet colour, now moving up to take his place behind the starting tapes. Bill and Louine Sewell line up out of position 2 wearing the blue helmet colour. Andrew Cleve and Dave Power on the inside in red. And on the extreme outside is the Brisbane rider, Stuart Firth and Mark Strachan. Away they go when the tapes flew. It was Bill and Louine Sewell. What a job they're doing here tonight. In illustrious company, they've got the crowd on their side too, I can tell you. Every time they take the track, the crowd rises as one, and they're in front again, Gary. It's becoming a habit.
It's getting too easy for him, isn't it? Yeah, oh, he's just doing great.
Talk us around this racetrack. I mean, what are they doing in terms of tactics and the manner in which they ride this very narrow racetrack?
Well, when you're out in front there, it's just a sweet place to ride. You've mainly crossed up here. There's not too much straights. You're just in the start-finish line there's a little bit of a straight where you'll get your front and back wheel straight there, but the rest of the time it's all crossed up. And when you're riding a Speedway Sidecar, that's the best part of them. When they're all crossed up and you've got it on full noise, it's just heaven.
Oh yeah, I knew you'd say something like that. It's adrenaline-charged action and provides a huge buzz for those that do it. For me, it would provide a migraine just thinking about it. There's the checkered flag, and Sewell at the moment are the top point scorers in this meeting. There's Louine Sewell, the little lady on the back of the bike. She slaps her husband on the back. That is a terrific job, and they've really captured the crowd's imagination here tonight. No doubt about it. Sewell and Sewell the victors. Firth and Strachan in second. And I'll tell you what, Andrew Cleve and Dave Power, Gary, picking up a third. He didn't need that.
No, that surprises me. Here we get the start again here, and we'll see that. Bad start by Chris Pym. He lifted the wheel too much there. He got too much drive, and Andrew just got left on the inside. He had position 1-2.
Again, there's plenty of touching and rubbing paint. All these sidecars in this event, by the way, running a control rear tyre. It's called a Baramitis SW18 tyre, manufactured in the Czech Republic for Speedway use, and it's doing a good job in the main as a part of this tournament, and it was put into place to keep the cost down for the riders and also to keep everything on a level playing field. Here we go racing again. Oh, gee, more bumping and bashing going on. Just great stuff, the Speedway Sidecars. Darren Treloar and Alan Griffith jumping out to take the race lead in the red helmet colour. Look at this rider moving down on the inside. That's the reserve rider, Stephen Taylor. He's doing a pretty good job, looking like dynamite at this early stage of the race. And third is Ronnie Parker from South Australia. Right at the back, Cole Windsor. I beg your pardon, that's Grant Bond running third out of Newcastle in New South Wales with Thomas Cruz on the machine. Here's your boy, Darren Treloar, out in front.
Everything's working nice there, isn't it, with young Griffo on the back there, just getting the right drive at the right time, and now just getting the back right round so they can get right round that first corner nice and easy on a tight line. Track's
riding pretty well at the moment. Taylor and Weir in second, Grant Bond and Thomas Cruz in third. But Darren Treloar is going to come up with another 3 points here as he crosses the start-finish line. There's the checkered flag unfolding. All problem at the back. Cole Windsor's gone in big time. The Victorian, Cole Windsor, and his passenger. Unfortunately, our camera didn't quite capture exactly how that incident occurred, but Cole Windsor is down on the track, and as you can see, a fair bit of concern over him. Apart from being a rider, he's also a member of the Australian Speedway Commission, and that was a nasty incident. All I can say is it caught my eye. Unfortunately, our camera not catching the action for you, but Young actually fell off his passenger. There is some suspicions that perhaps the sidecar wheel came off the bike, careering Cole Windsor into the fence, and that's bad luck for him. We now advance in our highlights package of the second round of the Clean Team Sidecar Super Prix to the next qualifying heat on the program, and Gary Moon and Chris Hughes, the 1989 national champion, is out in front all the way from Townsville. And we also see involved here Steve Taylor and Weir, who are doing an excellent job tonight. Chris Pym has moved up one more spot. he and his passenger Edwards in the white helmet colours. And I've often said you can't underestimate Chris Pym. He's likely to bob up and be a real spoiler at any meeting.
He is, and I think Taylor made a little bit of a mistake there, and he just left enough hole there for Chris to get through, and he took full advantage of it.
Through turns 1 and 2, 1,045 cc's, about 180 horsepower being generated by these bikes. Gary Moon and Chris Hughes on the centre of your screen. They are the race leaders. And across the line, they come up with a very valuable 3 points. Well, they're having an infinitely better meeting here tonight than was the case in the opening round at Bacchus Marsh a fortnight ago. Clean Team Sidecar Super Prix heat number 18, another 3-lapper. What a cracker. Vic Martin on the inside in the red helmet colour. Thistleton his passenger. As we get them underway, it's worth pointing out here that Glenn O'Brien and Jeff Giddis riding Dion Lynn's spare bike. They run third in the blue helmet colour. Now the reserve riding here in the white is young Christopher and Bernie Coppy's son, Trent Coppy out of Townsville. And they're second at the moment.
I've seen them before. I saw them up at Townsville earlier last year, and they go really good. They're young kids of the future.
Nicely turned out bike too.
Yeah, well, Peter Christopher, his dad, he was a really good solo rider. They come from good genes, so I'm sure they'll get plenty of advice from home.
I'll tell you, they wear the right genes too, if they ever do, coming from such a hot climate like Townsville in North Queensland. Look at Vic Martin and Rob Thistleton, his passenger, carving his way through the dirt here at the Brisbane exhibition ground, and not far to run. He's over the top of the handlebars and very focused, quite determined. He needed the 3 points, and he's on track to qualify for tonight's grand final. At the completion of the 20 qualifying heats, the top 3 qualifiers automatically go to the grand final. The winner of the B final will take the last transfer spot to make up the full rider field, and passengers obviously to do battle in the grand final. Now it's heat number 19. Cleve on the inside. He's had some gate 1 starting spots tonight, hasn't he? Grant Bond in second. Oh, Bond seriously inconvenienced on that first corner. He drops right back to last in the blue helmet colour. Darren Caife also has his share of troubles. He's in the yellow helmet colour and battling right at the back of the pack. And of course the other man involved in this, Justin Playstead out of South Australia, runs second on the racetrack, just out of shot at the moment. Here's Cleve, hard on the gas, locked up sideways. Playstead, then Bond, next man through. Darren Caife, a pretty handy rider, not having a lot of luck mechanically speaking in this series.
No, he's not, is he, Darren? He shows a lot of potential, and I know Darren fairly well, and he really tries hard. I'm sure he'll get it in the end, but he's just got to keep at it.
What a great venue this is, the exhibition ground. The weather has kept what would have been a very respectable crowd away tonight. Only a couple of thousand people in the stadium, which is a tragedy, but it's still got enormous atmosphere. It's just a special place for Speedway. Across the lane, Andrew Cleve and Dave Power picking up another win. Playstead and Harrison home in second. Bond and Cruz third, and Caife and James Dean at the back of the pack, not picking up any points. So they're certainly going to be heading for a C final start at best tonight, Caife. But there is Cleve and Power.
How is, sorry to interrupt there, David, how's Playstead going on points? He must be going okay. He seems to be fairly consistent with the places.
Yeah, at this point in time, it would seem as though Playstead will also be a candidate for the C final. He's had a couple of unlucky rides and some good ones. It's been a real mixed bag for him. This is the final qualifying heat. Treloar and Griffith are your leaders on screen. Wason and Walsh out of South Australia running second. Lyndon Males. I'm a little surprised by Dion Lind, Gary, the manner in which he's been so inconsistent here tonight. That's him right at the back of the pack. I remind you, this is the guy that finished second in the opening round, so he is struggling.
He had a terrific meeting at the first round, didn't he? I watched him all night there, and he really done some terrific stuff there, and it is surprising that he's struggling a bit here tonight.
Darren Treloar, I would suggest, is going to emerge the top qualifier. He has got a huge lead here. Make that about 30 metres as the rain starts to fall at the Brisbane exhibition ground. You can see it at the top of your screen. Treloar's going to win. You're looking at the battle for second and third. There's Treloar and Griffith across the line. Wason got second with his passenger Walsh. Lyndon Males home in third, and Billy and Louise Sewell having a bad ride that time after so many wins tonight. They finished stone motherless. We'll now take a break on C7 Sport. Welcome back to the Brisbane Exhibition Ground. Let's get the sidecar business done first of all. We now approach the final series in this second round of the Clean Team Sidecar Super Prix. This is the D final for the bottom 4 qualifiers, and your race leader is Rick Wason. He hails from South Australia, and his passenger is Glenn Walsh, and they've got a fairly handy lead here at the moment. The reserves, who get themselves another ride in this meeting, Christopher and Copy running second. And again, Gary Treloar, they're doing an excellent job, the youngsters.
Yes, like they did in the earlier race. They're really hanging in there. But so's the lad in front. He wasn't going to take no for an answer, and he got out the start really good.
Yeah, Wason and Walsh are due for a change of luck. They've been very disappointing in this event, had some bike problems. And I think I'm correct in saying this will be the first race win of the series so far for them. And they're definitely going to get the job done here, although Christopher and Copy coming at them very quickly now as the checkered flag unfolds off turn 4. Look at the jubilation. Wason and Walsh delighted with that. They get the victory in the D final.
You'd think they showed a bit of emotion over winning, wouldn't you?
Well, very much so. I'm certain it's their first win in the series, so good on them. Now the C final for the riders that qualified in down the bottom part of the field, and we get them underway. Darren Caife is the race leader, yellow helmet colour. He hails from Newcastle. Grant Bond, his fellow Novocastrian, in the red helmet colour is second, and Dion Lynn from Tasmania is third in the blue helmet, and they're packing up like a tin of sardines out of turn 4 at the end of the first racing lap.
I think Darren's holding the back two up here. They're all both fighting to get past him at the same time. I don't know who's going to come out the best. I think Grant's taken the wrong option there because Lynn get underneath him, which he did.
Yes, he did, the Tasmanian. Dion Lynn. Scott Mails, his passenger, hanging on for dear life on the side of the machine. Bond and Cruz at the back. Good job here by Darren Caife and his passenger. I refer to James Dean. Have you realised we've got a James Dean and a Tom Cruise in this race? A little bit of Hollywood comes to the echo.
I know, they're all stars, aren't they?
Look at this for a race. What a finish. Caife and Lind driving up on the inside. Can he get him? The checkered flag is there. Caife's arm straight off the handlebar to celebrate. Great victory by them.
He wouldn't take no for an answer there, Darren. He knew that Lynn was going to try and get up underneath him, but he held his ground.
Look at that again. Doesn't get much closer, does it?
Where's the passenger's head now?
Exactly. That was the final stages of the C final, and a good victory to Caife. Look at him. The salute, straight off the handlebar comes the left hand. Now it's the B final. The winner of this race transfers to the grand final. Pym and Edwards in the blue helmet colour. Sewell and Sewell in the red on the inside. The husband and wife team. Gary Moon and Chris Hughes on the outside in white. And the Sydney side of Chris Pym got the best start. This will be an excellent scrap. You've got some real fired up races here.
Yeah, both Chris Pym and Sewell, both riding identical bikes too. They're both built by TRE. Gary Moon's not giving it in on the borrowed bike, but he's still having a big go.
He certainly is, a little off the line there, up in the marbles, if I can use that expression. I'll tell you what, Chris Pym working really hard at the bike, isn't he?
Yeah, well, it mustn't be steering real good, because it has got slick and he is looking for a bit of drive, but when he starts moving around on the handlebars like that, he's correcting all the time.
He's certainly moving a lot more ferociously than the other riders are, who I guess are running a little higher up on the circuit.
Yeah, well, they're probably up there looking for a bit of drive. See, we've got these controlled tyres. You're only allowed 2, so the more you spin it up on the slick stuff down the bottom there, the less rides you're going to get out of them.
That's a very good point. Chris Pym wins the B final, and by virtue of that victory moves to the grand final, where he'll join Martin and Thistleton, Treloar and Griffith, Cleve and Power, who were the top 3 qualifiers, hence gaining automatic qualification for tonight's grand final. Now, the interesting thing about this format, all the qualifying points they've scored go straight out the window, and they're seeded based on their final classification. Here's the grand final. Darren Treloar inside red helmet colour. Vic Martin blue out of gate 2. Andrew Cleve white out of posse number 3. And Chris Pym yellow got a pretty poor start there. It's the Queenslander in front of his home crowd. Vic Martin had got a good start. Darren Treloar's up running second. Good battle for third with Andrew Cleve, vastly experienced. He punches his way up on the inside and relegates Chris Pym back to last.
Terrific start by Victor there. He came out just ahead of Darren there and just cut the gate off in front of him there, and there was no hole and just gone on with the job.
He anticipated the start beautifully, didn't he? He was rolling forward in a legal sense as the tapes flew. There's the gap between first and second. Darren Treloar has not given up the fight. There's no doubt about that. He and Alan Griffith are giving it everything inside the last racing lap now. Your leader is Vic Martin, the 1998 national champion, with Rob Thistleton on the side of the bike. This will be a popular victory in front of his home crowd at the Brisbane Exhibition Ground, and Martin wins the second round of the Clean Team Sidecar Super Prix. Treloar and Griffith home in second. Andrew Cleve and Dave Power consistent as always, picking up third and 16 points. So Vic Martin will now take the lead in the series, picking up 20 points there. Another look at it.
Oh, good start, wasn't it, by the two inside, 1 and 2 riders, Darren and Victor. But Andrew was there, cut straight in underneath. He looked like he was going to get into a bit of trouble there because there wasn't much room, but he just squeezed through underneath Chris Pym, and that was it. That's the way they finished.
Thanks, Gary, for your help on today's program, calling the sidecars. Great rider, former great rider, Gary Treloar, and he'll be joining me in future for the commentary of the Sidecar Super Prix. A look at the points for you after 2 rounds. Martin and Thistleton on 34. Cleve and Power, consistent always, 32 in second spot. Then Treloar and Griffith, O'Brien and Giddis, and they're tied on 30 as we now hear from the top 3. Well, Andrew, if consistency counts for anything, you're certainly doing exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yes, David, we're fairly happy with our results on both meetings now. 2/3 has got us up there in the points, so I think we'd be running a close second. So, yeah, we'll be trying to get into the final every week from now on in, and hopefully pick up a few firsts along the way.
Would you say that the 2 tracks that the tournament has visited so far, Western Auto Raceway at Bacchus Marsh and here, 2 tracks that aren't really suit your style?
Yeah, I prefer a drivey, rougher track where you can use the horsepower, but everyone's got to ride on the same track, so we make alterations to suit, and yeah, but hopefully Murray Bridge next week is a very drivey track, and we can show our stuff there.
Congratulations, it won't be the last time we talk to you. And Dave Power obviously doing a terrific job on the side of the bike. Andrew has just mentioned Murray Bridge. That's a circuit that you guys should be really, really quick at.
Yeah, David, if you talk about Murray Bridge, well, I've broken my leg twice there, so, you know, but I love riding there. It suits us, the track and everything, so hopefully next week we'll be able to go 2 better and get a win on the board. So, yeah, hopefully it'll turn out all right.
So you've mentioned the fact that you've had a couple of pretty severe injuries there. Is it a bogey track? Do you worry about that?
No, I don't worry about it because, you know, we've ridden there probably 100 times, you know, and I've only had a couple of accidents, which is, you know, I don't know what it is about it, but somehow I just keep hanging onto the bike to the last minute, and then it all happens. You hit the ground twice as hard because you get thrown harder as you're coming down. So, I don't know, I've just got to remember to let go as we're going through the air, I suppose.
You realise people watching this think you blokes are crazy, don't you?
Yeah, well, a lot of people say that to us, but, you know, they've got to realise that we just haven't come out of nowhere and hopped on these bikes. We've been on them for, you know, 15 years now, and even back when we started, you know, we grew up on motorbikes and, you know, from 80 cc's right up. So it's not just a matter of hopping on and not knowing anything about them. I suppose that'd be a bit more hair-raising if you'd done that, but no, I don't think it's dangerous if you know what you're doing.
Well, Darren Treloar, terrific second place tonight. Well done.
Yeah, that was good, David. It was an improvement from last week. I got 5th in the A final. Second's definitely better, but I would have liked to win it. Vic was a little bit quicker out the start, but that's racing. The plan is to make every A final at the end of the series and see how we end up on points.
And obviously the Brisbane Exhibition Ground, not a track these days that sees sidecars all that often, but it is a very special place, isn't it? Oh,
it's like the Sydney Showground, but it's in Brisbane. You know, it's a good place. It's a nice track. It's narrow. It's fast. It's round. I haven't ridden here since 1990, so it's nearly 10 years since I've been here. So it has been a while since sidecars have been here.
And obviously your passenger, Alan Griffith, again tonight, doing a terrific job. You'd be happy with the way things are going so far?
Yeah, quite happy, David. Yeah, as Darren says, consistency is going to win the meeting, and hopefully we can just improve on our 5th and 2nd place, and as we've been doing so far.
You guys tonight, watching you during the heats, appeared to have a fair bit in reserve. You look to be cruising, if I can use that expression.
Oh, I'm glad it looks like that. It's good for TV if it looks like that way, isn't it? But I don't think there was much there. We used everything we had, certainly.
Well, Vic, that's the way to do it in front of your home crowd, a sweet victory.
Oh, there's nothing sweeter. All our supporters were here. You know, we're really glad to be here, and I think that's really boosted us tonight.
A great field in the A final. You couldn't have been overconfident. Such was the calibre of the competition.
No, I thought Darren had really a good pick out of gate 1 there, and we were sort of lucky there was a restart.
So after 2 rounds you've been in both A finals, the script's worked out the way you wanted it to, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, consistency in a series like this, that's what matters, and you know, we'll just keep plugging away at those A finals.
Congratulations, and your passenger, Rob Thistleton, well done to you as well.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it was a good night.
What's it like riding at the historic Brisbane Exhibition Ground?
Yeah, it's great. You know, it's a bit skinny, but you know, you get plenty of dirt out there and plenty of drive and try and steer the bike around the track.
Did you find the track, from your point of view, changing much tonight, or was it fairly consistent all the way through?
Yeah, no, it changed a fair bit. We just had to find a bit of dirt. It was a bit wet after they'd done the track a few times. It was really drivey, and we just had to steer the bike around the track.
Thanks for your time.